Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team. We take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. And when
all right, as always, Dolphins number one, baby!
So fins up to all you guys. Thank you for being
I just want everybody to remember, we may not always agree on everything Miami Dolphins, but there's one thing we do agree on, is we are all Dolphin fans. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Fins Talk. I'm your host, Steve Malloy, and joining me, the famous and one and only Dolphin Thirsty. How you doing, Rob?
Hey, I can't complain, man. Loving every minute of this roller coaster ride we've experienced over the years. The Miami Dolphins, right now, that roller coaster is giving us the best ride, and I'm enjoying it, and I cannot complain. Evan and Back It Up Fins podcast, a big fins up to you guys, and thank you so much for joining us here. But no, I can't complain, man. Everything's good over at my Dolphins Thirsty. Just hit that 500 number here on YouTube.
All right.
And on dolphinsthirsty.com, just having fun. So it's all good stuff, guys. Thank you.
Oh man, great! That's great. That's good to hear, Rob. You've really worked hard. You put out great content early in the morning there at 10 a.m. Eastern time. You have the panel show going on there. You just got a great show, and I appreciate you allowing me to be a part of that show as well. So yeah, I congratulate you, man. Salute you for that. And I want to welcome everybody that's in the chat tonight. I thank you for joining us tonight. We will be dropping the link. We'll have an open panel tonight. If all of you feel inclined to join, it's a great time to celebrate the Miami Dolphins. We're number one seed right now, number one in our division. We're 9-3. Dolphins number one, baby.
Man, you
Dolphins
dropped that on me. You dropped that on me before the close of the show, Steve. I wasn't anticipating that one.
No, man, I'm telling you, man, I'm hyped. I'm hyped. We got Captain Tua. He's gonna lead us to the Super Bowl, man. He's playing really good this year. We got Achan is back. We got all our guys are healthy. I mean, other than some of the guys on the offensive line, but you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It seems like the next man is always steps up and does a tremendous job with the Miami Dolphins. And I couldn't be happier, man. But again, I want to welcome everybody in the show tonight. Make sure you hit that like button, share. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and just enjoy the show tonight, man, because we got a lot to celebrate here tonight, a lot to talk about. And I'd like to get a lot of you guys, you all, I'd like to get your take on how you see the Miami Dolphins, and what you feel, how you're feeling, just your raw, emotion of how you feel about this team right now. So come join us and enjoy the celebration. Also, remember, when you do join, we may not always agree everything Dolphins, but there's one thing we can agree on. We are all Dolphins.
Well said, Steve. And Evan, you're being silly. You're always very welcome in here, Mr. Evan Posner.
Absolutely.
You're welcome to
love
join any way you like tonight. Wait till we drop the link or come in with your backed-in studio that Bobby, for whatever reason, gave you access to. I don't know why, but he did. So you can come in and join us that way too, Mr. Evan. You're always welcome. Here, you can talk on that, Steve. That'll be our first.
Yeah, the talking heads are still not seeing the Dolphins as a top team. You know what I say to that? Bull hunky.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that statement as well. Yeah. Hey, at least it's not college football committee. They'll probably vote us out with how they don't like us. So at least in the NFL, we get to play ourselves in. So that's a good thing, because you never know if someone was, it's only warm and fuzzies tonight, man. But we're the first place in the AFC East with a magic number 3. We're number 1 seed in the AFC. So, yes, nothing but warm and fuzzy for our Miami Dolphins tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely, and in fact, this last game we played against the Washington Commanders, and we beat them 45-15. 45-15. This is exactly what I wanted to see. I wanted to see us beat the teams we're supposed to beat, which we have been doing, and we completely destroyed the Commanders.
Oh no, we
Just
did.
completely dominated them.
Yep, and it's a score agami. It's like one of those. It's the only time that NFL's game ended 45-15. I probably screwed up the name, but it's score agami. But Evan would know I always mess up names, so it doesn't matter. But it's a site that just tells you like scores that are unique scores, and that's a unique score in NFL history. No game had ever finished 45-15. Just a little fun stuff wrong.
Yeah, yeah, but they did everything that I've expected them to do, man. I mean, Tua's look. I don't care what you say about Tua. If people don't realize it, by now that Tua is really playing good. I mean, really playing good, and it's sometimes at elite levels. Then there's something wrong with you. Okay, I don't know. You got to be blind. The man is playing really, really good, and I don't care what you say about him, man. What you say, if it's Tyreek or if it's the Mike McDaniel's scheme, whatever it is, he's the captain of the ship, and he's leading this team to wins.
No,
that's point blank, bottom line. You can't say any more about him. He's playing really, really well, and this team is and I can see this team is starting to is really starting to gel on both sides of the ball, on the offense and the defense. They're playing complementary football. They played complementary football this Washington Commanders game, and this is exactly what
it was very solid football, both sides of the field. Even rested some of our stars towards the end of the game. I mean, Tyreek hardly played at all in the second half. So for everyone that's saying we're only worrying about stat padding for him, if that's all we wanted to do, we could have probably easily, against that secondary, how they were covering him, we could have probably got another 100 yards that game for him if that's all we cared about. And yes, I thought Tua was good on the Manning cast last night. It was funny. I liked how he waited to make his prediction, and then they run it in. I think it's going to be a rushing touchdown. It was after it was already, and they still put him on the prediction. That's the first time I've really ever watched a Manning cast. I always just watched the traditional cast, but they told me Tua was going to be on there to start the game, so I watched Tua, and it was funny. I thought he did pretty well. He even played the guitar.
Yeah, I
and
saw
all
that.
Of that.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't even know he played the guitar, so that was interesting. But
I know he played the little ukulele, whatever, little back in the day.
Right.
Sorry,
right.
Kevin. You don't want, I mean, Evan. I said Kevin because I was about to say something about my son, Kevin, here in a minute. He's coming down, and we're going to be going to the Jets game where I hope we clinch the AFC East. But let's see. Sorry. We can't play that. Where get Bobby copyrighted. That's it. I have great skills. You're just going to have to believe me. I could have played that song perfectly for you, Evan, but it would get copyrighted. I do it so well. Not really at all, but hey, that's why I can make it sound like that's why I can't play that song.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Dolphins they played a clean game. No mistakes in that game. No turnovers or anything. And I like to see that. The only criticism that I have in that game is Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle needs to catch those balls, man. And I know he's been working hard in the off season, and throughout the year on catching the balls and that kind of stuff, his technique or skill, whatever you want to call it. But he's got to do better than that, man. Especially in the playoffs. We're going to be, we're going into the playoffs. So we've got to, he's got to work on that. We need him. We need him to catch, especially when he was wide open like that. I mean, that was a beautiful pass. You couldn't have thrown the pass any better.
No, I know. And Evan, this is the only one. Steve told me this would be the one negative topic of the night, so don't worry. And it's not even negative. He just says he needs to clean it up. He's positive that he needs to clean it up. And that was the one play, Willie. Tua made good moves, maneuver out of the pocket. He hit him right there. But he was thinking, I got so much room to run. And that got in his brain. It happens. But yes, we got to clean it up for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Bobby. welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. The network leader, Bobby's in the house.
Yeah, welcome, Bobby. Appreciate you joining us tonight. But yeah, man, Chan, I like that he had the opportunity to carry the ball. Raheem got some touches as well. I think Jeff Wilson even was in there for a little bit. I think he even had a couple touches in there. So it's good to get all those guys involved. I hate to see Armstead, go out of the game like that, and Robert Hunt. But I think those guys are going to come back, and I think they're going to play this next game. And if they don't, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine if any of those two guys are missing. I think we'll be just fine.
Evan says we're blessed that Ryan Tannehill's not in there, or we would be in trouble, because he says Ryan Tannehill is an elite quarterback, so he's happy that they moved away from him, so the Dolphins have a chance. But anyway, that's just a little joke, because he's always picking on Tannehill. But
I know.
Speaking of linebackers and covers, I let you cover that, no pun intended. But Duke Riley, you had sent me, but I also saw before he graded out very high of all the linebackers in football. He filled in for Jerome Baker, and he played really well. Now, you can say it was against the Commanders, yada, yada, yada. It's just, who knows why, but he played well. Let's see it moving forward for the next couple of weeks is what we need, more consistency. So
no. I agree with you 100%. Duke Riley did play well. In fact, his PFF grade for this week was 91. Which is elite level. So he was playing at elite level, at least for this game. But you know what? I've always seen Duke Riley have that potential, maybe not elite level, but I've seen him play, and he's very quick. He's always flying around in the field, in coverage and at the line of scrimmage. I just like his play, and I'm glad we have him on our team. I'm glad we kept him because he's a versatile player. He's very good at special teams as well. So he's that type of utility type player that you want on your team. He can fill in at spots like he did against the Commanders when Baker went out of the game. So I like that. I like that we have a linebacker like that. You know what? What do you think, Rob? You think we might have a chance to see Channing Tindall?
Well, I was just going to ask you that, and then I asked a follow-up question, but you were asked. That's why you're the host with the most. Yes, I think if we may finally, I was going to ask you if it's Channing Tindall season finally. We may get to see him. Then I was going to ask you about what you think of Reuben Foster working out tomorrow. And then, I know he hasn't been in the NFL, but real quick on Tindall, he better be ready. He's going to get some reps because you give guys breaks, and he's next man up after Duke Riley right now, and so he has to at least be able to play. And so, yes, I think we may get to see a little bit more of him. So, Alan, your thoughts on Reuben Foster, who hasn't played in the NFL for a couple of years, but he did play.
Yeah, I'll give you my thoughts on both. Yes, I think Channing Tindall is going to have to be ready for the next man up because, hey, injuries do happen. It's that time of year. So yes, he's going to have to be ready. Now, as far as Reuben Foster goes, I think he would be good rotation player coming in at linebacker along with Duke Riley, because the only reason I say that is because he has been out of football for the year. But when he has played, he's been a solid linebacker. He's been, let me to compare him I would compare him with a Jerome Baker. He would be a solid, Jerome Baker type player. So if he comes in and plays, I don't think we're losing much at the linebacker position. That's my thoughts.
Do you think it's for a practice squad spot right now, and then just store him there and have him there in case if break emergency? Because they say
I don't know. I mean, maybe.
Because they say they're not going to put Baker on the IR. They're just going to keep him on the roster. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to free up a spot or anything. So I'm just wondering if it's just like, well, just in case Channing doesn't pan out, or some of our other, maybe they bump and put him on there. So that's why I was just curious.
No, I am too, and I'm with you, man. I'm just wondering too what they're going to do. But I don't think he would be, at least in my opinion, I don't think he would be up to speed to playing right away. I think they're probably gonna, work him in, a game here, a game there, a few reps here, a few reps there to see how he pans out. And in fact, practice squad might be another thing that they might do. I don't know.
This is like the second time in the past year and a half or so they've worked the man out. So they obviously have some interest. They worked him out before. Now they're bringing him back in. So they obviously have some interest. And so we're going to see what they do on that accord. So it's obviously something that they're interested in. I don't think they ever got involved in the Leonard sweepstakes just because of the money. Maybe he told the Dolphins he didn't win because it was basically down between the Eagles and the Cowboys. And I thought Josh Wingate told me he was going to the Cowboys. And so, Josh, I got to find you and tell me why that fell through. Saying he only takes shots at our Dolphins. Nice. So I take nice little shots at him. At the end of the day, doesn't really matter. But he was telling me, oh, the Cowboys are the leaders to get them. So you know how that goes. I'm sitting here every few minutes looking to see if my Red Sox have done anything. Every other team in the world's getting good players, and my team's sitting on their thumbs. But that's all of life. They've at least won for me, so now it's in time for me to enjoy my Miami Dolphins as we're cruising along with that #1 seed, and I'm loving every single minute of it. I mean, it's been Chad Pennington was our quarterback that last won us the AFC East title, guys. Chad freaking Pennington, who came from the Jets of all things.
So, and that was in 1990, wasn't it, Rob?
Was
it 1990?
No,
Chad
it wasn't
Pennington?
that long ago. I would have to look.
Or 2002? I thought it was. I thought it was
like that. Yeah, 2000. It's the year Tom
2002?
Brady got hurt. It's the year Tom Brady got hurt.
Okay.
And then we went on and we won the division that year. And it came down. What's funny, it's the Jets only got rid of Chad Pennington because they got Brett Favre.
Right.
And then the season comes down to where we end up beating them. They moved on. So Chad Pennington just fell into our lap. Unfortunately, he got injured and he was never the same after that one magical run year. He gave us his arm was just basically gone and we lost him. Nice guy too. His kids played rec ball, whereas my kids were really cool guy. It's good to see him here. You would never even know he was an NFL player. He would just hang out there. He was just really cool dude. Unfortunately, he was a 1-year hit in Miami.
Yeah.
But he led us to the playoffs after a horrible, dismal season. And there you go. So it was
the Back It Up Ben's podcast said 2008 to 2010. I thought it was earlier than that.
No, it's somewhere in there. Where I was thinking 2008 is when we won the division. So
okay. Well, what was it? 1990. What was it?
That's when I think the last time we were a #1 seed, and at this point.
Okay, that's what it was. That's what it was. I had that mixed up. Yeah, yep. You're right. That's exactly what that was. But anyway, I got another question for you, Rob. Concerning Andrew Van Ginkel, do you think he would be in a better position at the edge or the middle linebacker position?
Well, I like him at the edge better because he's, you're more prone to make big plays there. As you can see, he's just, he gets to the quarterback. That spin move, he ended up not getting the sack on it.
Oh, that was beautiful.
That Sam Howell must be stronger than he looks because he broke the tackle. We got a sack on that play, but he didn't get credit for the sack. He's, but still, he made a beautiful spin move, the pick six. The man's always around the ball. And he was like this close to getting a block punt in that game. This man just makes plays when he's given the opportunity. I love it. I wish we can find a way to sign him, man. It says, I know in the offseason we'll worry about that stuff, but he's really a gamer out there. He's really a game changer. He's really, really good. I like him a lot. And I want him to be one of those long-term Dolphin guys, man, because he's just out there. He makes plays. He gets to the quarterback, always disrupts plays. The man has gotten a couple touchdowns here and there,
Yeah, I remember.
And he doesn't even, have gotten that many snap counts until they've stepped up recently. So it's awesome to see him in there contributing, helping our team be at that #1 seed. So that's my answer for him. I like him a lot. I think he's better on the edge, but he's very good in that middle too. But he's more impact plays. I want him getting to the quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Good.
I think he's more effective at the edge position. And you're right. He's always around the ball. And I think you and I have talked about this before, that we would like to see Adam Van Ginkel get more snaps, because the Dolphins defense just plays better when he's in there. And sure enough, we're seeing it. We're seeing evidence of that now. So yeah, I like him at the edge position as well, Rob. I definitely do. Let's talk a little bit about and remember, folks, if you're in the chat, I appreciate you for joining us tonight. Hit that like button, share with your friends, your families, your neighbors, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you want to join us tonight, let us know, and Rob will drop that link for you. We'd love to hear your opinion.
I dropped the link right now.
Okay, good.
By the way, guys,
great.
The Back It Up Bins podcast, he does it a little different than us, not the live shows, but he does really cool, short little videos that are awesome. A lot of cool content, more than this. He does baseball, football, a lot of non-Dolphin stuff, but does Dolphin stuff too. Really cool stuff to follow. He's a big Dolphins fan, but he does all kinds of stuff. He had a good piece on Tony Dorsett the other day. He's done good things on the Red Sox and Fred Lynn. So, yes, I'm a little biased on that front. But, hey, it's really good stuff. If you just like to see quick-hitting, factual videos, he has some cool stuff. Really good radio voice, too. So
good stuff. Let's talk a little bit about before we go on.
You didn't call him Adam, did you? I'm sorry. You called him Andrew instead of Andrew. I mean, you called him Adam or Andrew. I think Evan's just teasing you.
No, I called him Andrew.
All right, I thought so.
Yeah. I just want to remind everybody, too, that we have a new sponsor. Well, I guess it's not so new now, but we have Canes Wear. And Rob, if you want to bring that up, everybody can see there on the screen, Canes Wear at Miami Fan Wear. You can get all your Miami Dolphins gear, Canes, Hurricanes gear, any Miami sports team or Florida sports team gear. And you see where they're located there at 2655 South University Drive, and that's in Davie, Florida. Also, you can visit their website if you live out of the area at caneswear.com to get all your great Canes wear there. Appreciate that, Rob.
Yep, no problem, man. It's always a good time of year to go to Canes Wear to get your Dolphins gear. That's how I always remember to say it, and it's fun. So, but anyway, guys, I've dropped the link. If any of you guys want to hit the link, come in, and you're welcome. Back It Up Ben's podcast. So, Steve, what's your take? We would do a very early look at the Tennessee Titan game coming Monday. First, let's talk about Bills Chiefs. Who do you got winning? Not who you want to win and who favors us more. Who do you think is going to win?
Oh, man. The Chiefs are coming off of a loss, and I think they're going to be out for out to win, and I think they're going to win. I think we want Kansas City Chiefs to win, number one, but in all actuality, I do believe that the Chiefs will beat the Buffalo Bills.
Yep, Buffalo's coming off a bye week, but do we really? It's really like that. I think no matter what, we come out okay with whoever wins and loses.
Yeah, I think so.
Buffalo loses, we're that much closer. If we take the Bears on Monday night, as early as the Jets game, which I'm going to be at, we could clinch the division. If Buffalo wins that, the number one, at least we may be seated higher, and it may be the difference of Kansas City coming to Miami in the playoffs or us going to Kansas City in the playoffs. So either way, we come out ahead. I'm just curious what you thought. I'm a little bit worried. I was close. I was worried that Buffalo would play the Eagles tough. They did. It went to overtime.
Yeah.
And the Eagles pulled it out. I'm again thinking that Kansas City will have a battle against Buffalo. So I think it's going to be a close game. And it's really hard to root for Buffalo. So I'm probably rooting for Kansas City, but the seeding is a thing too.
Yeah. We want that number one seed for sure. We want to keep that. But hey, the Miami Dolphins, we're in control of our own destiny here. So, we want them to win out the remaining season. Can they? That's a question that we don't know. But I will say this: I believe the next, including this game coming up, the Tennessee Titans. I'm almost positive we're going to win this game. They're not the same Tennessee Titans team they were 2 years ago, and there has been some speculation about Derrick Henry not playing. He's been hurt, and
Right.
they're playing a rookie quarterback in Will Levis. So I think we're going to win this game, and I think we're going to win the next game. I think we're going to beat the Jets no matter who the quarterback is, whether it's Zach Wilson or Boyle or whoever. I think we're going to win that game. So I think by the time it's all said and done, going into the Dallas, the Ravens, and the Buffalo game, we're going to be 11-3. We're going to be 11-3, and that will definitely get us into the playoffs, I believe.
I like your confidence. I like that you're so sure we're getting there. I'm thinking so too, but coming from you, I love that confidence, Steve.
No.
Awesome.
There's no doubt. No doubt in my mind that we're going to win the next 2 games. The games that I'm concerned with.
Yeah, Boyle was cut. I don't know. Did he just say
there you go. Boyle was cut. Okay, so there you go. Zach Wilson.
I saw that today. No, I saw that today. Yeah.
Yeah. So I really believe we're going to be 11-3, and then we're going to have to play the next 3 games. Those are going to be the telling games. Okay, those games, and I'm going to go. And this is hypothetical, folks. I'm not being negative. Okay, I'm just a hypothetical. Even if we were to lose those 3 games, what I'm going to be looking out for, and I said this last year in December as well, is how did they play? Were they competitive? Was it a close game? Did Tua make mistakes? Did he turn over the ball? Did Raheem Mostert fumble? Those are the things I'm going to be looking out for. How did the defense play? Did they continue to trend up? Did they continue to play the way that they have been playing the last few games? That's the stuff I'm going to be looking out for in those 3 games, because I'm very confident that we're going to win the next 2 games. How about you, Rob?
Yeah, and if your projection for Kansas City go and win, and if we win, we're AFC East champs, so we already have the division locked up. But you would hate to lose 3 in a row after that, going into then it's kind of backing into the playoffs in a little fancier mode, because you would be a division winner and having a game at home, but you don't want to be backing into the playoff. So I'm hoping that we can at least take some of those last 3 games.
No, and that's just the worst case scenario.
Oh, I know.
I'm just giving you the worst case
scenario, because all 3. We don't even know what Buffalo is going to have to play for that.
Exactly. We don't even know how Dallas is going to do their next 4 or 5 games, or the Bills
Buffalo on the docket. They got us on the docket. They got the Eagles on the docket. They got a lot of good teams.
There you go.
We're going to see on that,
and the Ravens as well. Anything can happen from now until the end of December. So, and thank God, knock on wood, our quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, has been healthy. He's been staying on the field. And to be quite frankly, there's a lot of quarterbacks that are getting hurt this year. But Tua, it seems like he's the last man standing right now.
Luckily, the Jaguars, they avoided disaster last night. It looks like he's going to be okay. It was looking bad. Hey, Mr. Courtwright, big fins up to you. Let's go, Miami Dolphins. Yes.
Raphael, how you doing? Raphael, we've been talking here, and we've invited the audience, if they'd like to join us tonight, to give us their thoughts. You can give us your thoughts on how you feeling, just raw emotion on how you feeling about the Miami Dolphins right now, and how do you see them moving forward. You're welcome to join. I believe Rob did drop the link. So if you want to join.
And we got Mr. Tarvalas Tinker, all the way from the Bahamas. He joined us before. Welcome back, sir.
Absolutely.
All the way from the Bahamas, finding our show here. That is awesome. I
appreciate you.
it.
Appreciate you. Appreciate all of you that are in the chat right now.
That we do. So yes, Steve, like I said, I am just so excited about just the ride. It's been way too long since Dolphin fans can feel, and I understand. I just dropped the pin. I'm so excited. I understand why Dolphin fans of our age group's a little worried because we've been here before. We've seen this before. Joe Rose talked about it. It's just like he keeps on. He goes, I want to buy in. I want to buy in. But it's like that bad relationship. He goes like, you think, oh, she's going to be different this time. I'm going to get back with her again. And then it's the same old mess. That's how he said it on the radio. So that's what we keep on doing with the Dolphins. Oh, this is it. This is different this time. But once again, I'm going to say, I said it on my morning show on Dolphin Thursday. I really feel like it's different this year. Yes, I know we were 8-3 last year. We got over that hump. We're now 9-3. We got a December win under our belt. Yes, was it against a great team? No, but it was still on the road in the NFL. We went there. It's not like they just lay down. We just went in there and we knocked them down. So it was a good victory all around, and I'm enjoying it. Like you said, this week the schedule is a little bit different. McDaniel didn't speak until today. Threw off my whole day because I'm so used to him on Mondays talking.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't talk until today. And he basically said the same thing. I could do coach speak 101 for sure. He said what I said. I knew they would ask him about the number 1 seed, and he more or less said, well, unless it's a week, they tell me that it's a 13-week season, it doesn't really mean much. And I knew he was going to say something to that regard. It's just like he knew it. But that's how I'm happy they're like that. And then he had to talk about beating the, lesser teams. And he goes, listen, if you don't study and do the same game plan, there's not a team in this league that can't beat you. If you don't get ready and you don't come prepared to beat them, they're going to beat you. So I like it seems that we really don't overlook anyone. That's a sign of being good. And people want to make it sound like it's a bad thing because we're only beating the bad team. So to me, I much rather be beating them than losing to them, So
for sure.
It's because every single week in the NFL there are upsets. And I don't know if Evan, he said there was going to be a lot of upsets this past week. I don't even know really outside. The only games I really followed was our Dolphins, of course. The Bills were off, so I didn't follow them. I did see the 49ers game beat the Eagles. But that's not an upset. I think the 49ers were actually favored or something in that game on the road. So, and it was justified or it was very close. And then, I don't know, was there any big upsets? I'm trying to think of Kansas. Oh, yes, Green Bay beating Kansas City.
I was going to say Green Bay and Kansas
City.
That
helped us out. So thank you, Dave. If you're out there listening, I know you're not because you don't come into Dolphin shows, but that's okay. He's a cool guy. So, but if he's out there, big kudos to your Go Pack Go. And, they helped out our Miami Dolphins. So that was
They sure did. They sure did. Yeah. So we're playing the Tennessee Titans on Monday night. Still a little ways to go. National television. I'm curious to see the injury report because I know there was some injuries this past game. So I am kind of a little curious to see that.
Yeah. Well, I know Hunt has the hamstring again.
Yep.
He aggravated.
Mm-hmm.
Armstead, once again, he has his ankle injury that he was dealing with. And then, of course, Jerome Baker, he's a more one that's going to be week-to-week type. But Armstead, man, I almost just want to rest him at this point, man. And
yeah, that's what I say. That's what I say. That's why I say, whether Hunt or Armstead are hurt, kind of hurting, please go ahead and rest them. I think we'll be just fine without them. I really do. Even if we're ahead of this game, it looks like going into halftime and we're like the Washington Commanders game. You know what? Put Mike White in. Put him in. Put some more second stringers in if we're ahead, if we're way ahead. Now, if it's a close game, or which I doubt, but if it is, okay, no. But if we're way ahead, if it's like 24 to nothing or 31 to 7 or 10 at halftime, or maybe wait until the middle of the third quarter, something like that. Rest
Yeah.
Tua. Rest Achan. Rest those guys.
No. Hey, hey, we were able to do it against the Commanders. So
Yeah, we will. And guess what? Mike White took us down there and got us another score.
yeah, the Titans this week. They're coming in at the same exact record that the Commanders. They're coming in at 4-8. That's what the Commanders were when we faced them.
Yeah.
4-8.
Now
We beat them
here, their
4-9.
4-8 is a little different than the Commanders 4-8, in my opinion. Their defense is a little better. I think they're like 17 or 18. Their defense is a lot better actually than the
Oh yeah,
Commanders.
the defense is definitely. Yep.
Yeah. Now the offense is not much better. So that's where we're going to have the big advantages. Is our defense is probably going to be do more of the same as they did to the Commanders. And their quarterback Will Levis is a rookie. Okay. So Vic Fangio is pretty good against rookie quarterbacks, his defenses. And the way we've been playing, with Jalen Ramsey back there and X well, Holland didn't even play this last game. But Brandon Jones filled in for him adequately. I mean, he did a great job. So, I just don't think their offense, I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and predict that the Miami Dolphins will beat the Tennessee Titans 38-13.
Wow. Hey, I will take
38
that.
to 13.
That's
Yeah.
a big. You got us winning another big game.
Absolutely. It's home. It's a home game. And we're undefeated at home this year. So why not? 38 to 13.
The Titans, according to the first one that popped up when I Googled defenses, they come in at 17th defense right now, according to
There you
Fox
go.
Sports.
What's
That's
their
the Titans.
offense rated?
I will go to that in 1 second. Let's see.
See what their offense is
And the
rated.
Commanders are way down at 30th.
Yep.
So, and then I want to see real quick what their passing defense is, though. Passing defense, Titans are 22nd in passing defense, allowing 230 yards, 0.8. So basically 231 yards a game.
Yep.
Their running defense, let's see where their running defense falls. I'm looking real quick. Their running defense comes in at 13th. They're allowing 106 yards a game, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So you want their offense?
Yeah. What are their offensive rating?
All right, let me see.
Ranking.
But anyway, you can go on while I'm looking for the stats.
Yeah, no problem. We're in no hurry here.
Yeah, let's see. Offense. Okay, here we go. Offense rankings. Dolphins number 1. I just have to throw out.
Of course.
Averaging 428 a game. Lions are number 2. Let's see. Titans fall at 27th on offense.
There you go. There you go.
27th. And the Commanders is a comparison on offense. We're 16th. So
there you go.
Yeah. Their passing offense, Titans passing offense is 27th. Their rushing offense, you would think would be decent with they're 17th rushing. So right kind of middle of the pack.
So middle of the pack rushing. Yeah, their O-line's not really good. A lot of their rushing comes from Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's Derrick Henry, the king. So he doesn't need much of a line to get his yards.
Scoring offense, which is most important of all, comes in at 25th. So they're down there in the bottom of scoring points. So we should be able to outscore them if nothing else. Maybe their defense is a little tougher than what we just faced this past week.
Yeah, that's why I said 38 and not 45 or 50.
Yep. Hey, I agree, man. And guys, if you just join in, we're getting towards the end. But if you guys want to join, Raphael says he can't join tonight, but he will in the future. So,
hey, no problem. No problem.
Oh, we got someone in here.
All right.
Let me see. Hello.
Hey, fins up, guys.
Hey, fins up, Sharif.
Sharif.
Yep.
Hey, hope everyone is well. Yeah, man, it's great things, man. Comparing, defenses that we're gonna play and we've played in the past, and I don't think
people respect us on the outside looking in because of the teams we played. But
Mm-hmm.
my thing is, for what we've been able to accomplish, and the teams who are Super Bowl contenders, they took on losses by teams who are not that good. So we're right on schedule. We're doing what we're supposed to do, which is win those games, and we're not having any slip ups. I guess the Raiders game was a close game, and other than that, I mean, we're just taking care of business, and we can't be mad for that as fans. You know,
No, no, well
and they
said, man. You
can't be.
can't be mad at for a team winning and taking care of business that they're supposed to take to. And maybe that Raiders game is the
Right.
one game that maybe we would have lost against a team that, but somehow we escaped with a victory, and we escaped our let up game, and that may be a let up game that we got a victory in. So you said it very well, Sharif.
What what I found interesting is speed linebackers that are coming off the bench. I think we have room for growth for Channing Tindall, and he may be one of the fastest linebackers on the roster. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and he's actually been picking up snaps on the special teams now. So he's been not only called up, he's been getting the special team snaps, which probably leads to him playing soon, taking snaps away from Baker. My thing is with Duke Riley's speed and with a guy like Channing Tindall's speed, I don't think we lose nothing on covering running backs out of the backfield or tight ends. What you
No,
guys thought?
absolutely. Absolutely, Sharif. I agree with you 100%. And that's what I've said on the show when, Rob and I have talked about is I've said Duke Riley is fast. I mean, he flies around the field. I like him, and he's really good on special teams as well. So he's an asset there as well. And you might have something there when you're talking about Channing Tindall there. Playing special teams, and they're slowly, going to implement him into the Vic Fangio defense. And there's no rush, right? There's no rush at this time for him to come and play. So yeah, I agree with you, and that applies to Cam Smith. Would you agree?
Yeah, the thing is, I think it's like back in the days when, Clinton Portis had to wait his turn because you had,
Right.
you know, um, Jackson ahead of him. And so my thing, I think it's gonna be that type of thing with Fangio in terms of you're gonna graduate and then you're gonna get your turn. Um, it's happening with Van Ginkel.
Yeah.
Because if Jalen Phillips plays, he's going to play 89% of the snaps. Van Ginkel only is playing is because he plays middle linebacker. But my point is, these guys aren't coming off the field and are being rotated because they know the play. They're going to stay in. And another weapon that we could use against offenses is if you're going to quick huddle Bradley Chudd and Jalen Phillips or Van Ginkel and Ogba, it's not going to work to your favor because they don't come off the field anyway. So,
No,
Yeah.
you're 100%
Good
right,
point.
and it's
Good
like
point.
you said, Steve. Cam Smith, Fangio. They say he has a history of not really putting rookies out there too much unless they really, really are just way better than everyone else. So I think that's why we don't see too much of Cam Smith other than mop up duty on the end of those big blowouts. Then you get a little Cam Smith. So he's a corner we got looking forward to. Hopefully by next year he's ready to go. I guess because maybe he would be a cheaper replacement than some of our higher price talent or whatever. But yeah, it's good to see that we got some young guys in the wings ready to step up and fill in when needed. And that's why when Phillips, as devastating and sad it was to see him get hurt, you knew that was one position that we were pretty strong at because you had Van Ginkel, you had Ogba, and these guys have been proven that they can play. Maybe not where Phillips was emerging to, but they can play at this league at a high level, and that's I think been a big benefit of our roster this year.
Yeah. 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 I agree 100%. Sharif, let me ask you a question. Are you still there,
sure.
Sharif? Okay, let me ask you a question. Um, how do you,
Yes, I am.
what's your take on Tua Tagovailoa this year?
I think he has grown right on schedule. Shout out to Perform, Nick Hicks.
Mm-hmm.
He did work on his scrambling in year one. In year two, he started to work on routine like throws, all throws after scrambling or evading a defensive end rush. He's worked on that. This year, you're seeing more pure deep throw. You're seeing the toes pointed in the direction where it needs to be while attempting that deep throw in order to get the accuracy and the air under it that you need. And so toes in front of him, and he's perfected. I think what he has perfected is not the anticipation, but I'm going to lead my guy away from where I'm guiding the safety. So I'm guiding the safety with my right eye going right, and and I'm going to be able to manipulate the pass I'm making clear to Tyreek in clear room or Waddle in order to make a move after the catch. So the manipulation of the eyes and then the passing angles that he's using just to get his wide receivers um, one open and running with the pass after the catch. That
Hmm.
is important. I think
Mm-hmm.
he's not going to get much credit for that. They call it spot throwing,
Right.
but to
I've
me,
said that.
he is the king. He's the king of that. He is and if you can spot throw, you're elite. There's only a
Yeah.
few guys who can do that. So
Anyway, some people like to use spot throwing as like a knock on him. They say, "Oh, he's just a spot thrower trying to make a knock," but it's like anticipation. You could use it as a nice phrase. So you're right, Rich. He's very good at that. So I agree with you on that take.
Yeah, that's an interesting take, Sharif. I appreciate that. And that point you make about leading the receiver and all that, manipulating the linebackers or whatever, I think that's right on. And yes, I've even mentioned it in the past too about spot throwing. He's a spot thrower, when I say that, a lot of folks, want to say, "Well, that's not true." You're being negative. No, I'm not being negative. He is an expert at spot throwing because I'm in Houston, Texas, Sharif, and the Dolphins, they had a joint practice over here this past off season, and I was watching Tua
yes,
throwing the ball. Yeah, I was watching Tua throwing the ball and practicing, and that's exactly what he was doing. He was throwing it to a spot, but he's working. It's all timing based, you know, and that the chemistry that he has with his receivers, especially Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and all that. A lot of folks, you know, they don't see it, because it's so smooth and it's unbelievable to the eye, right? And a lot of folks are giving Tyreek the credit for, oh well, he's wide open and all that. Yeah, sure, he's wide open, but who's throwing him the ball? Who's got to take the ball from center? Who's got to go back 2-3 step drop back? Who's got to manipulate that linebacker? Who's got to throw it in that spot? Tua.
No, you're
So
right,
yeah,
Steve. And
it's a
Sharif,
great.
for
exactly.
Steve to say this is a high praise because Steve's been not mean towards Tua, but a very critic of Tua. Like he would say that's why we're called Real Talk because he says like if he thinks Tua plays bad, he would say he played bad. If he thinks he plays well, so for Steve, for you to say that, Sharif has to understand that's a pretty big compliment from you coming.
Well, I mean, it's the truth, and you're right, Rob. That's why I call the show Real Talk, right? Because it's real talk. We're just talking real, and if I see something that's wrong, I'm going to spit it out, and if I see something that's right, I'm also going to spit it out. Right? Fair is fair.
Right.
And right now, Tua Tagovailoa is playing at a really good, almost you could say at times elite level. He's
Nope.
not there yet, in my opinion, only on my opinion, but he's almost playing at elite level at times. So, but I appreciate
I think.
your. Go ahead.
Now I wanted to ask you both and I guess people in the comments. What do you think it would take for to win the MVP over Tyree. And I guess my take would be um, do something that he has not done, which is win in December. Of course, people throw at him that he has a terrible record, or in fact, he will have a terrible record from here on out because this is the time when he does struggle. So I think Tua is going to evolve past that, and I think he has already evolved past that. And he's going to show us the quarterback that he is meant to be. But I think getting past Dallas, Baltimore, and Buffalo, signature wins with those type of games, even if you blow them out, I say, and don't rest anyone and destroy them. That would be the tour coming out party for the playoffs. People will have fair for us, and I think he will then get the MVP because of those big wins against his nemesis teams.
So if he just Sharif, if he just beats a team he's supposed to beat, he beats, and like I said, I always put those little quotations because to me there's like no such thing as really supposed to beat in the NFL. You guys all get paid. But just say he beats the Titans and the Jets. That would be 3 December victories this year because he already has one under his belt. That doesn't erase
Right.
the narrative for you. He has to go in there. He has to beat the Cowboys. He has to beat the
For the
Ravens. Is that what
well,
you
do you
you
think
think
that
he has to do that
criteria?
for?
You think the criteria is the cachet of the victory against that type of opponent, or
Yeah, that's what I'm
the
asking you.
MVP
Is
would
that
be
what you
based
think? You
on?
feel like we need a victory,
I
or are
think
they
it's
will?
cachet based. Yeah, I think if you get certain victories, like get one back against Buffalo, I think we love playing in Baltimore, if you ask me. And then Dallas, because Dak is playing on that same level in terms of numbers with Tua. If he's able to beat Dak at home and blow out one of those teams, Baltimore, Buffalo, uh, Dallas, that would then put down two things. One, you've beaten a team who's over 700, not even 500. Um,
Right.
and we destroyed that team, meaning that, hey, you put fear into anyone. I think even Stephen A. and Shannon Sharp would have to really look at us seriously, and that kind of question would be answered. And I think once Tua answers those questions, even after the Dallas game, um, they would be fair in Baltimore and they would be fair in Buffalo, because Dallas is a very good team. So, and if you do that to Baltimore and then do that to Buffalo, they would have to give you the MVP, and that is my question.
I'll answer that. I think yes. I think that's what he's going to have to do in order to get the most valuable player. I think he's going to have to beat, two of those teams at least, and that will probably get him. But he's got to play good. He's got to play good in those. I mean, really good in those two games.
Right, the
Then
blowout.
yeah, he's got to, because then there's no denying that he's earned that most valuable player. Definitely, for sure.
Yeah. Hey, I think one thing we can all agree as Dolphin fans, though, the main thing we want is a winning football team.
Absolutely.
And if he helps that cause, I think that's the
Yes,
greatest thing.
Yeah. I agree with you, Rob, on
yes,
that
indeed.
point. I don't care about the yards. I don't care about that. I don't care if Tua has a bad game and we still win.
Yeah,
He
of course.
doesn't get the most valuable player, but the most important thing, the goal is that Super Bowl. That's what we want. I don't care how we get it or how we get there. We got to get that Super Bowl.
Yeah,
That's
it's
that's
been
the
way
goal.
too long. This is the 50th anniversary of not winning a Super Bowl. I was 4 years old the last time the Miami Dolphins won the Super Bowl. So Reef, you probably weren't even around, but I was 4 years old and I don't remember it. So I remember the Super Bowl losses.
I was
So
a
yes, it's
twinkle in
been
my daddy's eye.
yeah, exactly. So, hey, but at 4 years old, believe me, I don't remember any of it. Even though my mom says I was out there honking the horn in the car with all the neighbors and stuff like that. But now, so it was fun, but I don't remember any of it. I do remember the Super Bowl loss. I would just like to get to the feel of having that Super Bowl week, but win it this time, of course. But
Oh
it's been
gosh.
so long. It's just like, oh, who cares about the Super Bowl? I'm going to watch it just because I've watched the season all along. Might as well see the conclusion on who won. But my biggest thing my biggest Super Bowl happiness moment is unfortunately like the Giants beating New England to keep them off the undefeated list. That's like my happiest moment as a Dolphin. That's sad.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I want to be able to celebrate my team's victory, not some other team's defeat. You know?
Well, I've got to tell you, Rob, if Miami Dolphins win the Super Bowl this year, right, I will be the happiest guy in the world. But I've already seen 2 Super Bowl wins. I already seen the undefeated season. I was there at the Orange Bowl for every game they played there, all the playoff games they played there. But I will be more happier for you guys, to be honest with you.
Well,
It would be such joy, and I would be so happy to see, you guys' faces if we were to win that Super Bowl, man.
but hey,
I
but
really
you,
would.
Steve, you were young yourself. What were you, like 10 years old or probably,
No,
or
I
12?
was at that time I was 12 years old when
So you
they
were
went
young too,
undefeated.
man.
Yeah, I was a young dude, but
You
like I
still
said,
remember because yes,
I
your
still
age is not.
remember vividly. I still remember vividly Larry Zonka, Bob Greasy, Paul Warfield, Jim Mandich, Norm Evans, Doug Cruzan, all those guys, Jim Langer. I remember all those guys. I met a lot of those guys. But it would just be, I would be so happy just to see you guys' faces when the Miami Dolphins win the Super Bowl. That would bring such joy to me because I've already had that joy, right? I mean, I would be happy and I would be elated. I'd be the happiest guy in the world, but I'd be more happy for you guys because you haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I know, but man, it's been so
And that
long for you
feeling.
too, though. But yeah,
It
because
has. It's been
the
real
age
long.
that you
Yeah,
said,
man. Much
that's what.
respect.
Yeah, I know that's great
Yeah.
because
No, I'm saying much respect, Steve. Yeah,
Well,
man.
thank you. Thank you.
yeah, because you were when you won. That's the age I was when they lost their Super Bowls basically in the '80s. I was like
Mhm.
12 and 14. Then we skipped a year, and then I was like, I think I was 13 and 15 in the years that they or 12 and 14, something like that, because we went in '82 when we lost, missed a year. Then in '84, Dan Marino's got us there, and then we lost that one too. So those are what I remember. So I do at least remember the feeling of being in. I just don't know the feeling of winning it. So that's why AJ Dewey to this day is one of my favorite players ever because he had that 3 interception game against the Jets in the AFC Championship in 1982 in a muddy Orange Bowl field. So to this day, AJ Dewey, if someone asks who's your all-time
Yeah.
favorite player, I say AJ Dewey, and a lot of younger people are like, "Who? What?" They're expecting like a Dan Marino or a Mark Duper or a Mark Clayton or something like that, and I drop an AJ Dewey on them. And a lot of people are like, "Who? What?" But
Yeah.
he wore number
So
77.
so
He had gone to LSU. He is just my guy, man, because he got those 3 interceptions. He was Richard Todd's favorite target that day. 3 interceptions, one ended up
He
being a pick
was.
six.
He was.
boy, I tell you,
One of those being a pick six
you
in a
brought
14 to
memories.
nothing game. And it was a beautiful thing. The Jets whining that Don Shula purposely kept the field all screwed up and ugly. And it was a great thing. But yeah, so Steve, you're right. And Sharif, how old are you about? Or give me like who was like your favorite player when you first started watching the Miami Dolphins?
Well, I'm 45. My
Oh,
favorite
okay.
player, coming up watching the Miami Dolphins, I think it was Dan Marino first. I
Yeah,
remember
that's
Roger Craig running all over us, and he
oh
was one of my hated players. He became a villain for me
yeah.
because Roger Craig just he ended the Super Bowl for Marino. Um,
Right.
Well, at least you're
and
old
so
enough to remember some success of the Dolphins. Here's my kids don't remember. They haven't even been on, and he's 21. I say it all the time on my show, but for people on here that don't watch my show, my son turned 21 this past November, and he's a fan like me.
wow,
Obviously, he had no choice, and like my other son who's 17, they're diehard Miami Dolphins fans, but they've never even seen a playoff win, let alone a Super Bowl run or
yeah,
something. They haven't even
wow,
seen a
they
playoff
missed the
win.
Irvin Friars. They missed all of the Irvin Friars and
Yeah,
all
they
that. They
missed
even
all of
missed some
that. They
Reggie
missed
Bush.
yeah, they did,
Reggie
so
Bush,
it's just
Chris
it's time for
Chambers.
them for younger generations. I
Wow.
see why because my next door neighbor, their son grew up a New England Patriots fan just because the Dolphins were bad. So he picked New England. Now he's an adult, he's a teacher doing his own thing in life, but he's still every time he comes and visits, he's like, "Oh, those Dolphins are just frauds, and he gives me grief. I'm like, man, you should have been a Dolphin fan, Johnny. Because he just grew up down here right next door to me. But his dad's a Cowboys fan because he picked him because of the America's team whole thing. So there's like no diehard there, So it's just funny though. But it's just we need to build that
really
because kids don't like rooting for bad teams this day and age. It's not like our generation that stick with a team no matter what. Kids pick winners these days, so we need to get some winning, Sharif.
Right. Right. And I think more or less when you think about the Cowboys, right, their culture is like grilling and food and togetherness and unity and stuff like that. So they're more based on just getting together to eat. And I think that's why the Cowboy Nation is pretty big, to be honest. Um, but when you think about Cowboys and you think about why am I a cowboy, right? And more, you know, they call it America's team. I think it's because of a culture. Um, and the
Oh
culture
yeah,
is
they've been like the
created
first with
by
cheerleaders and
unity,
all of
right?
that stuff. So.
You look exactly. So we're building that culture as a Dolphin fan base. We're seeing across the border, there are tons and tons of Dolphins fans. Just going into Washington, almost half of the stadium is Miami Dolphins. Um,
Yep,
and
no,
the Washington Redskins are asking for the fan base to cheer, and they're not cheering because most of the fan base is us.
Yeah.
no, that was good this
So,
past week. And
Yeah, for sure. There
Mr.
was a sea of
Forsythe dropped
Dolphins
the
there.
John Offerdahl, who was number 56 back in the day from the Miami Dolphins. So there you go, Mr. Courtwright. So
So
that's
Sharif,
good.
let me ask you another question, my friend. And thanks for joining us tonight. I appreciate it. What is your prediction
sure,
for
man.
the score Monday night against the Titans? Do you have one?
Well, well, from what I've seen, the move off of Tannehill, I, I don't know if there's still a physical team on defense, but I definitely know breaking tackles is one of Henry's specialties. So I figure like we're gonna have to maybe gang tackle, and we may possibly be we could get sucked into one or two play action, trying to get at this guy, and then maybe you have a couple of linebackers sucked in for a play action. But I don't think, other than that, I don't think I see them going over the top. And it to me, other than the Raiders over the top pass, I catch up with as much all 22 as I can. I haven't seen us been beaten over the top. Maybe one time against the Raiders, and
Right.
maybe one other time this season. Like
Mm-hmm.
and Fangio said it coming in. We're gonna play this two down defensive tackles with the ends Jalen Phillips and Chubb, and then you have four linebackers. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's how it's going to be. And to me, I always thought with two down linemen only, how are you going to set the edge? And the linebackers set the edge, Phillips and
Yeah.
Chubb, and uh, the Mikes, Baker and Long do the rest. And I think that's it's coming together. Um, but when I think of the standard that this defense wants to play at, I don't think they've even peaked yet. Um, I don't think we've seen the best of this defense, and it's going to be scary because um, when these guys start getting into like the Cameron Good, who's now getting snaps and
Yeah.
playing, and I believed in him when he was drafted. He reminds me of a Navarro Bowman, a former San Francisco 49er.
Interesting.
Long arms, has a lot of moves, very physical. Um, and so I'm looking forward, yeah. And Channing Tindall, even though he hasn't been able to catch on to two different schemes, I still see the athleticism, the speed, able
Yeah.
to come right in and step right in and help where Baker left off.
Okay, but do you have a prediction for the game this week for Monday night?
I would say, I say because we're at home, I
Mm-hmm.
think we score 45
Ooh,
pretty
wow.
early.
Wow, I like that.
But the thing is, routinely, if we do that in the third quarter, or if we do a 28 in the
Mm-hmm.
first half,
Yeah.
normally McDaniel will start to, and that's not good for Tyreek's record, right? But
Right.
it is what
Right.
it is.
Right.
I agree with Robin that the win is a win. What we want, we don't really want Tyreek getting 300 yards and breaking Calvin Johnson's. We don't care about that. We care about the win. And if they rest guys because we have a 38 burger in the quarter, then fine. They rest guys for a better
I
day,
agree. I
right?
agree.
And real quick, I didn't give kudos to Hooked Up Joe. He comes into my show a lot. Thank you for coming in there, Hooked Up Joe. I just don't want to interrupt anyone. Big fins up. But like he said, Hill has played 63% or less of snaps in the last 3 games, with 51% the last game. Hill wasn't being overused. He is just really effective when he's in there, basically, is what he said.
And speaking to that point, but I don't know if you can relate this to being effective or not, but he has 43% of Tua Tagovailoa's yards.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if you can call it effective or you can call it whatever you want, but that's pretty good.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah. I
Sorry to
think
Louis,
what's
interrupt you,
happened
Sharif.
over this season. No, that's okay. I think what has happened is we talked about this a little earlier on the question about Tua. Tua has evolved now to know that okay, I call it the force multiplier or force leverage. Um, when you watch a tape, it makes a safety backpedal and the right cornerback backpedal, and they backpedal because Tyreek is coming out of a jet motion, and he's
Yep,
not going to be jammed at the line coming out of that speed motion. So now
exactly.
you have two safeties. You have the two safeties backpedaling already, and the right cornerback who's responsible for our Tyreek, he's already in backpedal. Now Tua can just read the eyes in terms of what wants to do in an option where he stops 10 yards, turns, makes a quick catch first down, or he wants to make uh, a, a middle split or an in cut, get 15 to 19 yards, or he wants to keep going and go deep because the back pedal is not enough to stop a speedy Tyreek.
right.
I mean,
That's why he's so.
and it's
You're
this
Yeah,
right,
type of
Sharif.
thing where
How you
Tua
just
doesn't
broke
have
that
to
down
look
is
once
Tyreek,
again
and not
because
many
if
receivers can
Tua
do that,
can.
Sharif. That man can
Another
stop
thing
and
Tua
go
is
on a
very good
dime.
at
He can stop, and
before snap.
yep.
yeah.
It's just crazy though. He can stop on a dime, Sharif. It's like he's like guy that can catch the ball, and then most guys it takes a little while to get going. He is just like boom. He's like off again. Like even if he has to break stride a little bit to catch the ball,
Yep.
he's just gone.
Just
It's
because
just
of
like
the respect.
yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. No, you broke that down eloquently. And
Yeah,
and
he
and
did.
and and the thing with Tyreek Hill is, and a lot of folks say, well, he's just fast. No, he's not
Hmm.
just fast. I mean,
And on
he is
top of that,
blazing
you have
fast,
now the
but the
respect with the safeties.
Mhm.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say it's not that he's just fast. It's like Rob was saying, he can stop. He can stop on a dime and take off in fourth gear, or he's just a good. He's just a great route runner as well.
He's one of the
Not
best route runner. He's a
one of the
very good.
best.
He gets overlooked for his route because he's so
Yes,
fast, and people just think he's a
exactly.
fast guy, and he jokes about, "Oh, I don't know what I was doing. I just ran and got open." That happens. Sometimes that does happen, but but sometimes it's
Yeah.
just he gets that. He just runs a perfect route, and if Tua throws a perfect pass, Dan Marino used to always say, "You can't defend a perfect pass." So
No, that's right.
you,
That's right.
so
Well, listen,
anyway, it's
guys.
almost time to wrap up, but can I
Yeah.
give a special kudos to Raphael Courtright? I don't know if he knows this, but two names that he mentioned, these guys, both of Troy Vincent and Marco Coleman, they were both drafted in the 1992 draft by the Miami Dolphins. They thought we had 2 first-round picks that year. So that's
Yeah.
definitely going back to the day. So I just saw those names. I love seeing them. You know me, I'm always loving my own Dolphins history.
Absolutely. I know.
Thank you, Hooked Up Joe. Next time you can join us here at nighttime. I know you're the early bird crowd on my early morning show and Miss Fins and all of that good stuff. So that's where I found Hooked Up Joe, and he found me because of Miss Fins. So he's always putting on a good show.
Yeah. Appreciate all you guys joining us tonight. I really do. Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Please share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. And Sharif, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, brother. Hey, I appreciate you joining us tonight. Please, don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Come join us every night on Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern time. If you can, we'd appreciate you having you on. You made some really, really, really good points. I like the way you broke down the all 22 and all that you watch. I watch it as well. Although I don't explain it as eloquently as you did, but I do appreciate you for coming on tonight. And you still didn't make that prediction.
He did. He
yes. 45 to about 10.
Yeah, remember I said
10.
Get something late.
I remember I said, 45. I love it.
No, I heard the 45. I just didn't hear I didn't hear the Tennessee score. What he was going to say. There was how many points they were going to score.
And guys, let me just say this. I remember during the pandemic, it was a time for us Dolphin fans to just to stay inside, find out what best information. Don't poke our heads out and make dumb decisions because of what was going on around us. And it gave us a chance to really hone in on our own fan base, and realize that we are so much. We are valuable. We have knowledge, opinions, evaluation of our own way, and so we got to get back to where, hey, we love the game, we love our team, and we love our fans regardless of what their opinion is on each one of our players, and stop okay, now if you disagree with me, we got to insult or go to use the Twitter-based rules, and we have to stop. We may be in Vegas. How about going to look for the price of tickets and hotel rooms now? Now that as if we're confident, we're not cocky, taking advantage of other fan bases, but we're confident. We're very confident. And so let's go into the next week of Tennessee, knowing that we're a good fan base. We love each other. We love each other's opinions. If we disagree, then we're just gonna move on without insulting and disrespecting one another.
Well, very well said, Sharif. That's what Steve
absolutely.
Almost tops our show every night, saying that we may not always agree, but we can agree we want the Dolphins to win. So let's try to keep it friendly and not have big fights in here. So it's good stuff from you, Sharif. Thank you for that good thought.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you joining us tonight. Rob,
real quick, 31-27. He has a very close game.
Yeah, 31-27.
Mr. Courtwright has a very close game. But he has us winning 31-27. So very close.
Yep. All right. Let's close up shop tonight, Rob.
All right. And Sharif, once again, thank you so much for joining us. A big fins up to you.
Yep. Sure appreciate it. All right.
You're
ready?
welcome.
Yeah.
Fins up, guys.
Yeah,
fins up, brother.
Thank you. Fins up.
Remember, Dolphins number one, baby. Dolphins number one.
Fins up. You guys rock.
Thank you, Rob. Appreciate it, man.